Hello, and welcome back to the Dramatic Dream Dragons podcast here on the 5-Star Network. I am, as always, your host, Sondre Björn, and we are, as always, a podcast all about Dragon Gate and DDT Pro Wrestling. The full crew is here today. Yannik and Dylan, how are you guys doing?
I'm doing X flights to Japan, so I'm kind of hyped. And I'm really excited right now.
Hell yeah. How are you
Love
doing,
it.
Dylan?
Love that you're getting to go back to Japan. Love talking to you guys. Love all the listeners to the Dramatic Dream Dragons. It's a ton of fun, as always, with two of the most fun companies when you think about it, DDT and Dragon Gate. We have a lot to talk about today, some big stuff coming. And I've got a lot of thoughts to be lashed out on these shows, so let's get into it.
Yeah. We are recording on the 31st of January, the end of the first month of 2025. Before we get to Dragon Gate and DDT, I just want to ask, how have you guys felt this first month has been? Dylan, how has the first month been for you in the wrestling sense?
I think there's been so much going on, as always, with January. It's one of those, one of the biggest months in general, whether, it's in Japan, America, Mexico. Like, you've got big shows all over the place. So I think there's definitely been a lot of, important matches. And I think that hopefully it's setting the stage for a good overall year. But I would say the month has been good in terms of in-ring content. I don't know if I would say great. To be honest, but it's been good, and there's been a lot of it, so it's like you get a lot of good stuff. So that kind of makes up for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've basically not watched wrestling for a month.
That's not true. I know you have seen some wrestling.
Yeah, I've seen some wrestling.
You and me have watched 3 actress shows this month, so don't lie.
Exactly. Hey, that's not wrestling. Ask Sakaguchi. Yeah, I do keep up with the good folks of the actress community. But I didn't keep up with the news around DG and DDT, not actively. Obviously, I get to know stuff, but I feel I'm always behind.
Yeah. I mean, outside of our companies, I think wrestling in Japan has had a weird start because for the first time in what feels like years, Noah feels kind of interesting, at least in the main event scene. And New Japan does not feel interesting in the main event scene, which is weird to feel after Wrestle Kingdom, outside of the possibility of Goto winning, of course. Which, I mean, we all think should happen, but
let me ask you this, Sondre, because it
will happen.
Let me ask you this, Sondre, because it came up. I do want to plug the Eastern Lariat Awards show for 2024 that me and Striga did do, and on it we had a brief discussion at the end. Basically, now that you mentioned it with Noah, regarding it, if Ozawa could be an MVP candidate in 2025. And I basically said at the end of January, we recorded a few days ago, so it wasn't at the end, but still, I would say he would probably be the favorite to me. For at least for 1 month, I think he's been the one that stood out and had the most growth of everybody.
Unless Yamato keeps the title the entire year, I would agree.
Well, yeah, we're only 1 month in. I mean, we still got 11 months to go, so it's not like we're making any definitive statements.
It's Noah; they can fuck it up.
Well, yeah, I think I said something similar, but I guess let me put it this way: if we gave him an MVP for the month of January, I think it would probably be it would be Ozawa. Yeah, see, so he's the leader of the pack right now. But like you said, I mean, there's still. It feels like the great thing about Yamato, and we're going to talk about it a little bit later, is that there's still so many avenues left to go. It doesn't feel like his reign is out of the last legs at all. So, it feels like there's a lot of different avenues to take, and that's really good for a champion. And then, I mean, even with DDT with Brooks, you could argue the same thing in a different way.
Yeah.
There's that thread that Yamato has, but I think that we're at an interesting point in wrestling all around. We've seen a lot of the Joshi companies, lots of talk about Stardom and stuff going on right now. TJP had their big show on the 4th. They're building up to another one in March, so. There's a lot of things that could change, and that's one thing I've definitely grown to learn is that things can change really, really fast in wrestling in general, but especially in Japan.
This is the first year where I'm not watching the TJPW Max Heart or like the tag tournament. I just forgot it was going on, but the final is already set. Like the final is happening soon, I think.
It doesn't sound like you were that interested in it.
No, I didn't even notice that it had started because it's TJPW. I liked it in John, and that's it.
The good thing I can say is that Actress is truly back.
Oh yeah, Actress
Like
just had excellent.
It only
yeah.
It only took them like 9 months or something to get watchable again, but the feeling is back. With them, and someone I did totally dismiss on the MVP ballot for the Eastern Larry Awards, it would be Mari, because like she did a tremendous job and she's so integral to this.
Yeah.
So I'm having a lot of fun over there, and it's really nice to have like a promotion that does like 2 to 3 shows a month that are under an hour instead of like 6 or 7 shows on their network in a month where I have to study and cannot watch them. Dragon Gate.
Before we move on to the companies, real quick, since we haven't mentioned them, Dylan, what do you think of the All Japan show last weekend? Saito versus Ansai.
Yeah, when it comes to All Japan, they're always the company that you can look at and be like, you're almost guaranteed something good at the top, right? Like when it comes to an Ansai, as long as he's in the main event scene, he can make it work. This one was not.
It was disappointing.
It wasn't even disappointing. I mean, June is not the level of wrestler Ansai is as champion, and I think that anybody who had an idea this will be another great title reign like that will be disappointed.
Yeah.
The Saito brothers are very popular, of course, but I mean, do you think Jun Saito's as good as Ansai?
No, not at all. It's just that I was expecting something good, and it ended up being just fine.
It was really long.
And Doi and Musashi was better than them in the semi-main. I felt.
It was a nice moment, but Doi as champion the second go around has not hit for me personally. Like as much as the first time. Like the first time he was great. The second time it feels like something's been missing. But hopefully Musashi can have a good run.
I think the atmosphere in the building was just wrong, also. Because the building felt like the roof was so high in that building that we couldn't hear the crowd noise at all. It felt like, which
even the Ashino match on the undercard I thought was going to be a banger because like Miyamoto's had a great reign so far, and it was good, but it wasn't as great as it could have been.
Yeah. I mean, I watched the entire show, and at the end
of it, you did get to Aja Kong then in All Japan.
Yeah, that was fun. I did watch the entire show because I had that day off. It was a Sunday after all, and I was just sitting there during the main, and I thought, this is not as good as I hoped it was going to be. But I ended up after the show being really hyped for Korakuen because I looked at the Korakuen card they have coming up in February, and that card is amazing. It looks like we're finally getting astronauts in All Japan this year.
Yeah, they were already talking about that. Yeah, I think it's great. There's a lot of good things in All Japan right now, but I do miss Ansai as champion. To be honest, I would say. But you get that. That's some good stuff. Ansai and Ashino from earlier, but that was a freaking great match.
Yeah.
Like that was a match of the year level match to me, or a match of the month anyway. In my opinion, you got Stardom sold out their show, like one of the highest Korakuen shows. Tall Saya, heel champion.
They're advertising that. Yeah, it already sold out. That's true.
Yeah, that's one of the first times in ever. I feel like that might have happened.
They're finally bringing the red belt back to Korakuen, which is good. I've been missing a red belt title match in Korakuen.
I agree with that. Yeah, you're totally right about that. That's a great thing. I think Saya's a good champion right now. So I think that you get these companies moving in good directions. Hopefully, I still feel like they've all set the table. None of these companies have reached their potential, I would say, for this year. But I think they're at least setting the stage for good things.
Yeah. Also, always recommendable. I did some Osaka Pro catch up today, and I can definitely recommend watching. Well, first of all, Zeus versus Taru from last year, the year-end show, amazing match.
I hereby vow to watch it one day.
I have a couple of hot takes to lay on you here, though, because I actually mentioned that show on the year-end award show. Stringer was stunned that I even watched it. Not that I watched it, that I could watch it because he didn't know that it aired.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Opro fan, going back to the original version, 15 years ago, like Osaka Hurricane, blah blah blah. I thought that match was like really great, Zeus and Taru. But let me hit you with this, Sondre. Did you watch that whole show?
I did only watch the main event.
Well, here's what you need to do: watch Matsufusa versus Shiba.
Oh yeah,
on the undercard. I thought that match was even better than the main event. And I thought they were both great. Like they'd be easily above 4 stars for me.
Yeah.
But like I loved both of those matches. But that Matsufusa match was really strong.
I did watch Matsufusa's match this month on the 12th against Osura. The match he lost the title in.
Yeah. That was a great match, but it wasn't as good as the Shiba match, in my opinion.
Of course not. It's as big of a show either.
Yeah. Great drafts for that too. That did like what, over 2,000 something fans?
That venue is great. Like that venue should be booked more because it's Osaka Pro ran one show there and New Japan ran one show there, and that's the only 2 shows that have been held there in the last year. And it's central. I looked it up. It's central Osaka. So more companies should run it if they're missing a Osaka date.
I think if you saw that show, you would think what I said was a hot take about Matsufusa match being the better. They were both great. I'm not judging them.
I always agree with that though, because Matsufusa is amazing.
And Tori's great, and so is Zeus. So I love all those guys equally. Shiba, like, so great to see him in a good match again like that. But I have another hot take for you. I'm sure you've seen Sorryism recently with Sorry and Mako.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm about to hit you with a nuclear hot take. I thought the semi-main was better than the main event, the tag match. I love that match so much.
Same take?
No, I mean, when I rewatched the main after the lag was done, I could enjoy the main event more. But I love the semi-main as well.
The tag was so freaking great. I love that match.
I love that tag. It was
match
so
of
fun.
the night is obviously Kanamiku dragging Yuzuki to a good match for her.
Another Yuzuki hater. We've seen these pop up on Twitter a lot lately. Are you one of them, Yannik?
No, I don't like her. I'm not like a hater.
She's not good. I don't think anybody would be. I
have tweeted this on Bluesky, and I like her recent singles matches when I really like her opponent.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
I mean, it isn't. They aren't really Yuzuki matches for me. There are Natsumi Shosuke and Mashiro and Kanamiku matches.
I mean, come on, that was like the 5th best match on their 5-match card, though.
I don't know what it is, but Karuito on Starisms she's just locks in.
Yeah, like Ito was great. Like I said,
It was very funny. The Chi-Chi match was kind of disappointing.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it was good, but not what it could have been.
It was good, but the match was also Chi-Chi versus Takumi.
Exactly. Aroha, man. We need. I need a great banger Aroha match. I feel like we haven't got one of those.
The tag match on Sunday Girls that I went to live on the 5th.
That was really good.
That's one of my
Yeah.
that's one of my favorite matches this month.
Well, it's a singles match, like a banger singles match with Aroha, because she's got the title. She's and we're not seeing a lot from her that we should, in my opinion. Chi-Chi, obviously one of my favorites character workers, and I do think she could grow into being like a really good wrestler too. And she's getting there, so you like to see that. Same with Yuzuki, like very young and green. So she's getting better as time goes along. I think all of these guys, yeah.
What I just see with like just putting these two against each other, like what they do well and what they don't do well, where it's just like I feel Chi-Chi gets wrestling way more, where she just doesn't try to overcomplicate stuff with things
That's true.
She obviously isn't comfortable with. Like she isn't flashy in her wrestling. She is flashy with her presence and just doing the basics really well.
Yeah.
And anyway, my opinion still stands. Chi-Chi versus Aya Sakura match of the year.
Of course. But I wanted to bring up that building Osaka Pro ran the year-end show in. Because, of course, Edion number 1 is closing this year to be rebuilt. So that means Gate of Destiny has been taken off the big show calendar for Dragon Gate. The big show calendar right now is Dead or Alive on the 5th in Nagoya, Kobe World on the 13th of July. So Dead or Alive on the 5th of May, Kobe World on the 13th of July, and Dangerous Gate on the 17th of August in Ota City, General Gymnasium, the worst venue I've ever been to. And they have taken off Gate of Destiny off the calendar. So not because Osaka number 1 is getting rebuilt, and they have also taken off Final Gate from the calendar, and they are still running 2 Korakuens in December, but there's no big show announced for December. And they're getting back to Fukuoka Kukai Center at the start of 2026 with a show on the 23rd of February. So 2 shows taken off the Big 6 schedule that Dragon Gate has ran last year. It hurts. It honestly hurts a bit. To take away Gate of Destiny, I feel really hurts because I've always liked Gate of Destiny a lot. And the same with Final Gate. But Final Gate, that's a show that they can't do in Korakuen, I feel like. But Gate of Destiny has always felt unique to Osaka, just like Dead or Alive has felt unique to Nagoya. How do you feel about this, Dylan?
I hope that they have a plan in place to replace it more than anything. If I see that, I think we can judge it better if we see that. Like if there's just nothing to replace it, then yeah, like that's a big show missed. But if they can replace it with something else, or just move it somewhere else, I think it would be fine overall. We don't know that yet. Overall, we have to wait another 10 months to figure that out.
We have to hope that they find something to replace the October-November big show feel. It's just I was looking at the schedule and three big show venues left of the year, and the last one being in August feels a bit weird. But they will be running a Korakuen each day, each month at least, and 2 at the end of the year in December, as I said. So that's good.
And so as I said, I just booked my flight and I had a look at what I will be able to see, and they are actually running a big show in Tokyo at the time I will be there, but I won't be there because I'm not
Ota.
doing Ota. Ota fucking sucks. Why do they do this? Also, they're running against Mayumi Ozaki. They don't stand a chance.
Oh yeah, true. Also Academy.
But I will be back in Korakuen for them, so I'm very excited. And like,
Yeah,
yes,
the September one?
Huh?
The September 4th?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is sad in a way, but I don't see like there isn't like an obvious way around it.
Yeah.
And downsizing is probably not a bad idea for Dragon Gate.
Yeah.
So if it improves Korakuens, which is still like a big if, I'm very happy with this.
But the thing is, last year they were the best company that was running Korakuen the entire year. And like Korakuens, some can always feel a bit down, but most of the Korakuens feel must watch at the moment for me. But Jay did say that when he was doing his like Bluesky read on this, and saying that this may force them to do more Dreamgate matches and Twin Gate matches and stuff in Korakuen, and that is always a plus. I would assume that we all agree.
Yeah, exactly.
But of course, Edion number 1 will be back in 2027. I think that is the goal for it to be rebuilt. But let's talk about Dragon Gate's first big show of the year, the Gate of Bayside 2025, the second annual Gate of Bayside. Last year was the first, of course, in Yokohama Budokan. An attendance of 2,098 people. It was live on the Dragon Gate Network with English commentary. Of course, before we talk about the card, I just have to say, please, if you're gonna run the Yokohama Budokan more, turn the lights down. For our enjoyment, just turn the lights down. I think the atmosphere is better in that building with the lights down. Every time Stardom runs the Yokohama Budokan, they have the lights down, and it gives the atmosphere just a better feel. I like looking at that building in the full light that they have it on. It just gives a bad feel to the entire show. I don't know what it is. It might just be a thing for me, but it's
a bad undercard doesn't help either.
Yeah, but like already when I saw the layout they were doing, my vibes were off.
Yeah, they were off for you. I could tell.
I mean, for the first half, but I did get into the rest of the card pretty quickly after the intermission. Dylan, what do you think of the presentation they do in Yokohama Budokan compared to others?
I mean, I suppose a little bit worse. I think that's something that it's one of those things. There's no easy answer because I think that's something they would really be wise to work on in general to have much better presentation. The problem is that they might not have the financials to do that or make it. What you said is something that's a little bit. It seems like it would be easy, just to do that.
Yeah,
but,
I know.
Yeah.
I know we have no idea how it works. So of course we think it's easy, but it's probably not.
Yeah. So I mean, and I didn't think it didn't make a huge difference to me in this one compared to some of their other shows, to be honest. But I could see where maybe you weren't into it at first, but I thought it was okay, especially by the end.
Yeah. By the end, I didn't care. I was so hooked on Strong Machine J Juice that I didn't care. But the show started off with Ben K and Mochizuki Jr. of Gold Class facing Casey and UT of Natural Vibes. 4 minutes and 51 seconds. Running elbow smash from Casey gets the win on Mochizuki Jr. in a very fast opener, both in time length and in wrestling. It was fun. It was way too short, but it was fun.
I don't remember this match, not gonna lie.
I mean, I remember it, but it was good for what it was. I'm not gonna hate on it, but it was like you would have wanted it to be a lot longer, overall.
Yeah.
So it's hard to come away without it like having a little bit of a negative taste in your mouth just because you see like the chemistry these guys have with each other.
Yeah.
And actually, I think that
these guys can easily feel like a Korakuen main event.
This could, yeah.
They do this.
This match could be a Twin Gate match, and it's a fun
yeah. I was just gonna say this, and like that. I really think, especially Ben K and Junior, they have like really good chemistry as a team. I think you could totally buy them as a tag team, like going for the Twin Gates or something like that. Overall,
I mean, Casey and UT, former Riku Dragon Pro twin champs. So.
That's right.
And it looks like they're pushing this Casey and UT team up again, because they do have some big matches. Well, not big matches, but they will be paired with each other for the first couple of shows in February. Because they are facing Jason Lee and Omare tomorrow in Kyoto, KBS Hall, and then in Korakuen, they are in the three-way semi-main versus Dragon Daya and Ryo Tanaka and Vita and Jackie Kame. So that feels like the winner of that three-way will be the people who challenge for the Twin Gate for a Champion Gate.
Good.
So I could see Casey and UT being the next Twin Gate challengers. But yeah, moving on to
makes sense as long as Jason is tag champ.
Yeah. Moving on to the obvious Ultimo match of the night. Ultimo, Naruki Doi, Toru Washi, Shuji Kondo, and Hyo defeated Don Fuji, Genki Horiguchi, Yasushi Kanda, Sachihoko Boy, and Luis Mante when Hyo pinned Sachihoko Boy with the double bicep senton after 8 minutes and 15 seconds. This was what it was. It's a Legends tag with, for some reason, Luis Mante and Hyo in, which Hyo fits in with these guys where I don't really care about anyone. Mante,
because he's a legend.
Mante, I wish was in something else. At least Daiki isn't in this match, in these kind of matches anymore. On this show, at least.
Send him to Noah.
Mante?
Yes.
Oh! Osawa versus Luis Mante. Book it.
Maybe Mante versus Indo. No, Indo as well.
I would watch that match.
I would watch that match so.
Especially heel like Team 2000X Indo.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Hell yeah. And then double.
From the little bits I've seen in GIFs, I haven't seen the match. He's really over the top, so he seems to have fun. Endo.
And then double twist. Monte joins Team 200X, 2000X.
Yeah, no, that's what he needs to do.
Vacuum now. They have a vacuum with him going on.
He needs to start. I need to start a new group called Team 200X to feud with Team 2000X.
Yeah.
It's just him and Hyo again.
No!
Yes, they're the only members of Team 200X.
I do think that them being on the first big show of 2025, the two members of the two lead members of the failed unit of 2024 being in the Ultimo Legends tag is just so fitting. Honestly,
Yep.
poetic.
Curtain jerkers.
Yes. Moving on to the Open Warrior title match. Takeshi Yoshida versus Kikutaro. Takeshi Yoshida retains the title when he pins. Well, first of all, via fan decision, but he wins the match by pinning Kikutaro with a kiss after 8 minutes and 16 seconds. The first successful defense for Yoshida with the Warrior Gate. I absolutely hate this gimmick. Like this is Dino, but bad.
Without the charm.
Without the charm, without the funny. It's so... This is the worst like gimmick that Dragon Gate has done in recent memory. It is horrible.
I hate it. I mean, there's no real words that you could say to justify it. I think the one positive, the reason why I would say I like this better than most Dino stuff, because they're both not just bad but also offensive. But this has the benefit of having Jay on commentary openly despised all of this. Which was somewhat amusing as he was going in there. And the one part, then he just come on there and he's like, "Let's just get this over with already." Or talking about when they wanted to go to the fans or whatever. Yeah, he's like, "Let's just poll the fans and get it over with already." It was awesome.
Yeah. Jay on commentary helped this match, but man, this was horrible.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad stuff. Bad.
Very, very bad. Moving on to something good. This was such a good cleanser. Masaki Mochizuki, Ryufura, Daiki Yanaguchi, and Akihiro Sahara of the Mochizuki Dojo defeat Seabrats, Shun Skywalker, Ishin, Yoshiki Kato, and Omare in a Captain Falls elimination match. Yoshiki Kato, the captain of Seabrats, and Daiki Yanaguchi, the captain of Mochizuki Dojo. Of course, the rules here was that if Mochizuki Dojo lost, then they would have to disband. This was Yoshiki Kato was cashing in this his win of the rookie tournament, the Young Dragon Cup, to use this opportunity to try and end Daiki Yanaguchi's new home in Mochizuki Dojo. So that was the story of this match. The finish was Daiki doing the double knees to Yoshiki Kato and into Mochizuki rolling up Yoshiki Kato, who was the last member of Seabrats in the match, and Mochizuki and Daiki were the last members of Mochizuki Dojo. A painfully short 9 minutes and 46 seconds. I wish this would have gone like closer to the 15-minute mark, because what they were doing was great. I was very into this. I thought everyone in the match did well. I thought Akihiro Sahara, who really found an identity during the Young Dragon Cup, the 2 double shots in Kobe, I felt him. He was really standing out in this match. Him and Homare is a great rookie feud right now. I did really like him joining during the Young Dragon Cup. No, he joined during Korakuen. Never mind. But yeah, this was just really fun. And Daiki almost getting his own win, but Mochizuki still getting the painful win was very nice at the end. Yannik, what did you think of this?
I agree that I would have liked this to be longer, but I was fully locked in. What I really liked about this is that everyone had a distinct role and something to pay off, especially the young guys.
Yeah.
So because of that, it just really flowed so well and was so entertaining. It felt also quite a bit rushed, but it adds a bit of an intensity to it. Or okay, they are young and fast, and they really want to prove a point here. So it doesn't not fit. I just think it was so well done that like I would have liked to see more of it. I'm quite surprised about the result of this.
Of Mochizuki pinning Kato?
No, of Mochizuki Dojo still being alive.
Oh. I kind of predicted that when they made that the rule. I thought it would be too early. They had just started.
Yeah, they just started.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yes, that's true, but it's also like, you know, it could also just be like
the losers outside of Mochizuki. So
it does
Yeah.
make it does make it really does make Kato look like an idiot.
it totally does, which is fine since he's
yeah,
a heel and a cop.
Yeah. What did you think of this, Dylan?
agreed with what you said. I wish that we could have seen more of it. I thought the finishing move was actually really clever. How basically Mochi basically stole a win from Daiki. Daiki just got that close to getting the pin with his own move, but then someone else got the win anyway. I thought it was really good how they did that. You can do a lot of different things with this group. And I think that the way they're using them right now, I was particularly impressed with Saihara in this match. I thought he did a great job. Him and Homare they could cook together. Like, this is a potential long time rivalry that they could build up upon for the next few years. And I thought his elimination spot was great. They did a lot of really good, intricate stuff. It shows you that, like, I feel like you can kind of tell when DG and the people running this show are really locked into something, because they come up with really inventive and creative stuff when they really want to. And I also think that I'm glad that this group exists, because all of these guys, it gives them a home. But also, I think that with this win and where they're going in the future and where it looks like they're going, you could bring these guys up who are known for losing so much and build them into something. Like, you could actually make something out of them with this group. I think that they're on their way. Obviously, they've got a long way to go for that. But I think booking-wise, it was great. The match quality was really strong. It just was too short. But still, it was a good piece of business here.
Yeah, for sure. Of course, Kato ended up beating Mochizuki Jr. in the finals of the Young Dragon Cup. It was the finals I expected. They delivered in a great match. I think it was.
I feel scammed by that tournament. Not gonna lie.
I did predict that.
First match of the whole tournament, and my winner died.
That was a great match, though. Tanaka versus Mochizuki Jr. is a fantastic match from that tournament. Yeah, like, for a rookie match, that is must watch. What did you think of Kato versus Mochizuki Jr. in the finals, Dylan?
It was good. I think Kato still has a way to go as a wrestler. But he's good, and Mochizuki, I think, has a ton of potential and upside. I just thought that for the story they were telling, where they're going with everybody, and the implications of winning the tournament, I think that it was clear to me that Kato was going to win.
Yeah,
but still, yeah, exactly. And it was really good. It was a really good match overall.
Yeah. Kind of wasted opportunity with what he used the win to get. But
that's the problem. Yeah.
It makes him look like an idiot. Again, I think that's kind of fair. For like a wrestler like him, like, he has obvious qualities that he can use to be someone on that roster. It's way worse for like an average, quote unquote average guy to be portrayed as dumb.
Yeah.
Than if it's just like this huge heel. So it's fine. I
Also,
think it is funny, but
Shun Skywalker was having the time of his life in this match, and he was a very fun highlight. Like
yeah.
I love
Overall
all the guys
highlight
in this match.
of this match to me is Sahara.
Yeah,
I think he did a really
me
good
too.
job, and he showed a lot of character and what he can be in this match. So I think this is a total success.
His match in the tournament was a banger. Like
Yeah.
talk about a match I wanted to see more of. Him and Mochi Jr.
Yeah,
Like that match was freaking great for like I mean it was only like 5 minutes, but still. I like Kato's character though. He's kind of like a delusional meathead. You know, pretty much like he wants to be this hero of justice, but he's with Z-Brats. He's gone about it. He has good intentions, but has gone about it and been duped into doing things all the wrong ways. Which I do think eventually could be like his wrestling really lends itself to more of a heel component, but I do think that one day you could turn this character in a fun way if they wanted to go there.
Yeah. Also, shout out that look. Amazing entrance gear for Kato. But moving on to the hardcore match. Hometown guy, Kai of Dragon Gate, facing 0-1's Masaru Tanaka in a, of course, hardcore ECW style match. Probably not quite as extreme as ECW, but this was a Masaru Tanaka match. 11 minutes and 41 seconds. Sliding D from Masaru Tanaka gets the win. Kai loses in his hometown. WWE style booking on the show, as we would see later on also. But of course, while I found this match good, I did feel like this was a parody of, not a parody, but a copy and paste Masaru Tanaka match.
Okay, let me stop you right there, Sondre. Let me ask you a question. What was the point of this?
Yes.
And who gained from it?
I think the point was specifically to enerve me.
I mean, I think
it was obvious just to give Kai a match in his hometown, but in terms of story, it's just like bringing Keno in that time to face Yamato. Like, yes, you're getting an outsider challenger. That's the real point. We get that. But in terms of your actual narrative of the company, what did this serve exactly?
Nothing. Nothing.
Yeah, Kai neither gains nor loses nothing from this.
It was a good match, though. I did like
it. Was.
But I did think that in the last couple of minutes, this really started to show Masaru Tanaka's age. I don't know.
I felt that for a long time now, to be honest. I haven't been a big fan of his in the last few years.
I haven't seen that much Masaru Tanaka lately. I avoid him. I only see him when he comes in for these kind of matches in DDT or Dragon Gate or any other promotion that I watch. Yeah, I don't know. They did Masaru Tanaka spots. They did the table. They did ladders. They did chairs. Tanaka, he's old, and this is the kind of match that he can copy paste onto every match he can do in a year, and it's easy enough to do for him.
Yeah, I mean that's about it ultimately.
Yeah.
He gets around though. I mean, he was just at the GCW show a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, apparently, when he showed up in Korakuen, that was like the day he landed in Tokyo, or something like that. So
he wrestled Ibushi last month.
Oh god damn it!
Right, it's a 6-man tag. It was Tanaka.
Where did Ibushi wrestle?
It was Ibushi, Leo Osaka, and Takumi Iroha versus Nagayo, Tanaka, and Titus Alexander.
Marvelous.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
I forgot about that marvelous match.
Yeah.
I think Tanaka has his place in wrestling still. This is not it.
Yeah.
Like I've seen him at Karate Weekend last year, and he was really fun there. Again, he had his place, and he lost his match early in the tournament, and then on night 3 there was this really fun hardcore tag match where they used him to give a moment to a young guy that kind of created a gimmick, and it still sticks. Here it is just something, and I was really pissed at this because I did not like this show at this point, and we come off a great match with the rookies, and this match just has drug it down quickly again.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, but then they went to intermission.
I will say this about that one match too. That was the hottest the crowd was on this show up to that point was Takai and Tanaka.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah, like they gave them reactions. Like this worked for the crowd. I like the line from one of the reviews on Cage Match on this, where it was like, "No filler, but not that much killer either." That pretty much just
that is so accurate.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what. Like, they didn't waste time. It wasn't bad by any means, but it's not like anything that will make this match stand out for what they wanted.
Describe a 3 1/4 star match.
Yeah, exactly. Like exactly what this match was. Like between 3, if you're negative, or 3.5 if you're positive. On this match.
But they went to intermission. A almost half an hour intermission. It was very long.
I wonder why that was.
I don't know. I think someone was doing meet and greet very close to the entrance, and because I saw that line was just going, was standing pretty still. So I don't know.
Who's the most popular man that made that line, and why was it Ryo Saito?
No idol performance on this show either.
Sabi was pissed about that.
Yeah, because we had that last year at Gate of Bayside.
I really feel like it's a shame, because now that we're going through the show, I'm kind of like, it's boggled my memory of it. I really kind of agree with what you said at the start about the fans and the atmosphere of it, because I feel like the sad part is that with the thing last year, you mentioned the idol performance just now. It's another thing that kind of rattled my brain. They really want this to be a big deal, but it feels like there's something missing, like from it, to make it feel like this big show that they want it to be.
I mean, the lighting is a fair point. It just makes it look cheap, kind of. Anyway, like it's probably good for the hardcore match where they're ringside a lot of the time, or like kind of in the crowd and so on. But it just kind of all looked cheap.
Yeah.
I do. I'm sure Dragon Dia was sad that the idols weren't performing because he loved them the last time.
And it's just nice to have something special on the show, ultimately.
I always get back to that picture of Dia looking like the happiest fan ever when he met the idol girls last year. And I just know Dia is like us. But moving on to the Open the Triangle Gate title match. Paradox, Susumu, Yokosuka, BB Hulk, and Kagetora, the champions, defending their first defense against D-Courage, Dragon Dia, Madoka Kikura, and Ryoya Tanaka. Interestingly, Madoka Kikura takes the pin from Susumu after 11 minutes and 27 seconds with a jumbo pin. And Susumu makes Paradox retain and have their first successful defense. This match was worked perfectly. I thought this was really good. As always, I know that I'm going to get a great trios match if we have all of D-Courage. And yep, it ended up being great. Did have some rough spots. Tanaka had a pretty bad botch, but he regained from it pretty quickly. Dia, as I always say, just an incredible wrestler, a must-watch wrestler. I can't believe that they're not bringing him over to the States again. But yeah, Yannik, what did you think of the Open the Triangle Gate title match?
Like in the moment, this rocked. It is not a match to like point to specific things other than like Kagetora going crazy. This man is an enigma. I don't know what he is motivated by. But it was just like it was over, and we were all there like, man, this was really good. This rocked. I like to see more of this. So I'm kind of happy that Paradox had retained here, because like I just enjoyed them so much here.
Yeah, and like it's also big. I am noticing that they're telling a story with Kikuta right now, which is interesting. But also, I did love when Kikuta broke up the pin by doing a hip attack. That was amazing. Dylan, what did you think of this?
Oh, totally agree. This match way overachieved, in my opinion. I think you have to give a ton of credit to the Paradox team, specifically Hulk and Kagetora here, who we all know Susumu's great. Nobody's doubted that. But the other two, I mean, a year ago were basically DOA on this roster. Like, if they retired tomorrow, nobody would have cared. But for some reason, they've really pulled out this extra energy. Hulk's been doing it for a little while now, from the gold class team up to this point. But Kagetora has really stepped up. I thought he was a really strong participant in this match. Susumu felt like he was at his normal level, obviously. I think that these guys just really have great chemistry. Maybe just all of them working together, all of these generational old guys, has really lit a spark in them. And we know what Decourage brings to the table in ring. So I really enjoyed this. I'm also happy that Paradox won. I think they've got something here with this whole group, and particularly these three as a trio. I was a little surprised, to be honest with you, because I thought that they had a pretty clear story to have. And I personally had figured there was no way a title change was happening in the main event. So I thought that they would want to have something on this show, like a title change, and I thought this was a good place to do it. Decourage's first ever Triangle Gate Championship. I think that's a story you could play around with. Maybe that's something that they could drag that out until Kobe World, if they so chose, to make this big goal to get them to get the Triangle Gate, which they've never done, and I think that's something we all want them to do. But right now, Paradox is on point. I thought this was a great match. I would have it 4 stars.
Yeah, I also gave it 4 stars. The thing with Decourage, I don't know. It's not that I think that they're disbanding or anything, but I smell something going on with Kikuta. I don't know.
Do you think the hip hop is coming back?
I honestly could see a heel turn.
Do you think they're just waiting until whatever happens with Yoshioka?
I mean,
like, that's really what I feel like. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they're just running in place right now.
Should we wait with the Big Six until we have talked about the main event? I think we'll do that. Yeah.
Okay.
I think we'll do that. Moving on to the Open the Twin Gate title match. By the way, I agree. Paradox totally turned around this match. Totally turned me around on them with the titles. But moving on to the Open the Twin Gate match, Kota Minoura and Jason Lee of Seabrats made their first defense of the Open the Twin Gate against Jackie Kame and Rita of Gold Class. 13 minutes and 51 seconds. Golden Rose gets the win for Kota Minoura. Their first successful defense. I thought this match was a great match when the 3 people that aren't Kota Minoura was involved in the match.
Wow.
Because Jackie, Rita, and Jason all did amazing work. And then Kota he just stunk it up. I don't know. I would be more into Ishin teaming with Jason, I think. I don't know. It's weird. There's just I didn't feel invested at all when Kota was doing stuff, and then Jason came in, and he just is so much better as a heel, and in this match also. Even though this is the kind of match that you expect Kota Minoura to be good in, because historically he has been a good glue guy in the tag team. But no, I don't know. I was so into everything Vita and Jackie were doing, but like the finish, I thought was ended up being a bit overbooked and a bit of a mess. But yeah, Dylan, what did you think of this?
First of all, big shout out to Jay once again on commentary. Shouting out Dennis Stamp, 2025 here. Love that. There, if you ever watched Beyond the Mat, you will laugh at that for sure. I think Jason's done a great job as, a heel so far. I do agree with that. I think that it was good, and then they really got too wacky with it. When the ref got pulled out, I think was the turning point in a negative sense for the match. And it ended up not being as great as it could have been when you see it on paper overall. But I think the thing is, I think that's our fault for having higher expectations than we can get with this Minoura and Jason Lee team. It's just not going to be that kind of team, in my opinion. But they're good at what they can do, and Minoura is. The thing is, all of these criticisms of yours are not new, Sondre. It's something I've been saying the entire run of this show that we've been on. This is just who he is as a performer. He's just not very good, ultimately. And for some reason, he gets chance after chance, and I don't know why. But the match was good, though. I definitely didn't have my hype level as high as the previous match, but I think quality-wise, Rita did some incredible things here, as he always does, of course. I think that they did do a good job of portraying this as, like, okay, these two teams is not necessarily the style of match that Jackie and Rita are normally in, where they're, like, showing out, splashy wrestlers. This is like, okay, we hate these guys, they betrayed us, let's get them. Like, I thought they did a good job of that, which is a new wrinkle in their games. And I thought that they did a good job with that. But as a match, I did think it was a bit less than what I would have wanted.
Yeah. What about you, Yannik?
I think wrestling-wise, this was really, really good. I don't think that I don't see the Minoura criticism. Like, it didn't bother me watching this.
Yeah.
I just, like, as a match, because I think I said that in the preview, that whenever you have Jackie and Jason in a big tag match, it is bound to be great, and like the wrestling they were involved in was great. I just think as a match, this wasn't all that successful in that I don't think this match has staying power.
Yeah.
Like it's great popcorn wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, but like as a whole holistic match, it's fine.
Like I did rate it higher than the Triangle Gate match, but I see it. I was just I don't know. Kota took me away from it with the final bits.
Okay, let me pose this question to you guys, and I think we can all answer this. Z-Brats, I think we'd all agree, is a pretty big group right now. It's a pretty big unit.
Yeah, which is good.
Where would you rank Minoura in terms of that unit, in terms of who is the most interesting?
Interesting.
Number one, Ishin.
Number one, Shun.
I didn't ask about Ishin. I thought that all Shun. I said Minoura.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get like the whole thing. Like the bottom is
I would rank
Kato, Kai.
interesting.
I put Kato ahead
Yes.
of Minoru.
I
Maybe
would
not Kai.
I don't know.
I would have Kai and Minoru at the bottom for interesting.
Yeah, Minoru is less interesting than Kato for sure.
Yeah,
Kai is they're kind of equal to me. But
Yeah.
So the difference between Kai and Minoru is one of them is pushed heavily, and the other isn't.
And one of
So
them
that,
is like, yeah.
yeah, in that case, that kind of takes Minoru to the bottom, in my opinion. Like he's like the least effective member of this heel group based on these rules. So, yeah, I don't really have a lot of patience for this. Like we've been doing this for all of these years, like with him. What more can he bring to the table that we haven't seen already?
The thing is, now more people are agreeing, because I have been back and forth, but and you have always been down, but I've always been back and forth on Kota. This year, I am not feeling it. Korakuen, I did not feel it that well in Korakuen. I did not feel it that well on this show, where I felt Jason did better, and Ishin and Shun did better earlier in the night, and even Homar and Kato, who are rookies, did better.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. But that's the usual though. Like that to me is expected at this point. Like all of those guys did better. Like it would be surprising if Minoru did better than any of these people.
Yeah,
and in particular, it's really hard. I actually think this team does him no favors because now you have a direct comparison to Jason.
Yeah,
and yeah, like that really hurts him, in my opinion. He would be better off away from that. But where on this roster do you go for him?
Noah.
Also goes to Noah. Not him and Endo in Team 2000X.
Maybe I have the good idea of putting Endo and Kota together.
The dream team from Journey of Wrestling that Sondre has put together needs to happen in real life. But
Mino Endo. That's the name.
There you go. I also think, don't you think he would look better if he were in another company with in a junior division that didn't have the kind of depth that DG has on its roster?
Do you think he would be in place in the junior division,
Or New Japan, either one.
In New Japan, he's tall.
Yeah, what's his weight?
He doesn't wrestle the junior style. That's the thing.
That's true. That is true. I don't know. I just don't see it with him. Overall.
I do know that Kota is probably really high on the draft list. If I was given, you can draft one talent away from Dragon Gate, I think it would be Kota at this point.
And the thing is, he's not a bad wrestler. It's not like he's just he's a better wrestler than Hyo, for example.
Yeah, he's better than Hyo.
Yeah,
he's just pushed too much. That's the thing. I don't know.
Yeah, and this match kind of showed that, in my opinion. But
yeah. But moving on to the Open the Dream Gate title match, Yamato, the champion, defending against the hometown boy, Strong Machine J. The 5th defense for Yamato, and it became a successful defense when he hit the Ragnarok after 23 minutes and 16 seconds in what I think we all can agree is Strong Machine J's career highlight match. This match just is special. For me, this was an instant Dragon Gate Match of the Year contender. It's going to be on my top 10 of the month for sure. Probably as the number 3 under the 2 matches that really stood out to me live when I was in Japan. This was just special. Strong Machine J got a crowd that had been dead for almost the entire show, with some outside expectation, but he got him. This crowd was so hot for Strong Machine J.
But the whole build-up.
Yeah, for the whole build-up, of course. The story was built up perfectly to the show, and the execution was done perfectly. exactly what we are expecting from Yamato during this reign. We saw it against Ishin, we saw it against Kikura, we saw it, Kano doesn't really count because that's an interpromotional match. We saw it against Daya, especially, but this match really is very similar to the Daya match in it elevated the opponent so much in people's eyes and standing and interest. Yannik, I'm sorry. I wanted to dream with you. But how did this feel?
First of all, your weakness disgusts me.
I did dream with you during the match.
To me, first of all, his career-defining match is still like the cage match, but
Yeah,
this being his like best or most important singles match, totally, 100% best outing. I think it was a roaring success. Other than he obviously cannot politic, and Yamato is still champion, and I'm very sad about that. But I not saying I did not expect this. I was expecting a really good match, and obviously I have like the fan glasses on, but still I feel like he kind of over-delivered on expectations, and that just makes me really happy with this match. And I will rewatch it soonish, and I hope that like that can hold up. Overall, I'm just very happy about it. Like, I've said it many times on this show, how that man manages to bring across emotion and struggle and will to fight under a mask.
Yeah,
is insane. I think Stricker said it on the award show you guys did, that he is way better than his father ever was with the mask. I cannot say that. I haven't seen his father, but like he is doing much better than almost everyone under a mask. It's insane. And you know, that's just like how he carries himself. Like, the wrestling side, on the other hand, is top notch. He is totally up there with Dylan. What did you think?
I really agree with what you said. This match was really interesting to me. And I think in terms of a singles match, I agree with what you said about the cage match. I mean, that was such an amazing thing that he did a great job in. It was a special moment. But
that's more of a storytelling moment for me. This was wrestling, like in ring.
I think it was interesting because
what I meant.
And we've seen it with multiple times now. With Ishin, with Daya, and now with this.
Yeah.
Yamato is bringing the most out of his opponents.
Yes.
And all of them, I think, are very talented on their own. I'm not trying to take anything away from them. But Jay has not had this caliber of singles match before this, at the end of the day. And I think Yamato really deserves a lot of credit. And I actually thought this was a really great... This is another one where the thought that went into this really made it, in my opinion, because if you notice, a lot of this match, Jay was bringing the fight to Yamato. Like, Yamato was on the defense for a lot of this match here. Until the end, he kind of used his veteran wits to turn it around, which I thought was good. I thought it was something really unexpected. I thought this would be a much more back and forth type of epic match, but it's clear that Yamato has come in with a lot of good ideas, a lot of fresh ideas compared to some of his prior Dreamgate reigns. And I really think he deserves a lot of credit, but obviously because it's Jay, because it's his big moment, his big match, just like the other ones, he's going to get a lot of the spotlight. But I really thought Yamato, as well as the structure of this match, is really what made it so special and made Jay look like that main event level guy that he is. ultimately, I think this match really solidified him in that role that he is going to be a next man up level player for this company. And so, yeah, I thought this was a fantastic match. I don't know if it was as good as the Dia match, to be honest with you. I think that in
No.
terms of
it wasn't.
Yeah, like in terms of match quality, that one was better overall. But I think that it accomplished what it wanted to, and I thought the thought behind it was very strong as well. Like they could have done something a bit more even keel, maybe even more actiony, but instead they really went out of their way to make Jay look strong, and I thought that was good.
I have the Rain open on cage match, and looking at this, this whole Yamato Rain is a roaring success.
It is special.
Yeah, to me personally, the order is number 1 the Ishin defense, then the Dia, then Jay, and Keno and Kikuta are also happened. What I'm saying is I now need a Suzumu and a UT defense, and this is the most Sbadoosh coded Rain ever. Thank you.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Well, what do you think about that point, Sondre? Like in terms of his defenses?
It's starting off great. It's it's been going since World, and I think
it's starting off. It's 6 months into it.
I know, but the reason why I say it's starting off is because I think it's start of the year, and because I want this to go the entire year. As I said, when we were talking about
at least the World.
At least the World. As I said when we were talking about MVP candidates, I think Yamato, who was my male MVP last year,
right?
If he keeps the title the entire year, there's no other choice right now. If Ryo Saito called me on the phone and said, "Hey, Yamato is gonna hold the title until Fukuoka in January 2026," I would have said February 2026. I would say, great, another MVP year for Yamato. Because the match quality he has had during this reign has been insane, and not only is it insane for him, it's insane for his opponent. Kikuta had a shot in the arm after such a bad 2024 when he had that Dangerous Gate match with Yamato that a lot of people forget.
I forgot.
That was a great match. That was a great match, on honesty.
Yeah. The Ben K match where he won the title.
That was a really great match.
Awesome. That was so good.
Yeah.
A decade, a really special match for Ben K. And one of the best Kobe World Dreamgate matches in recent memory. And then you have Dia, you have Ishin, you have the Keno match, which I ranks lowest because it didn't really have any bigger story to tell, but it was still a well-worked match. But every match outside of the Keno match, the opponent has come off looking just as good as Yamato has, in my opinion. And
yeah, I made that point, yeah.
And that's just, it's great. I think if he continues like that, this title reign could go down as one of the greats.
What I just find...
And something that this company really needs.
What I just find incredible is that he, obviously not for Keno and Benki, but for Ishin, this has been, and Jay, this has clearly been their best singles match ever. Dragon Dia, arguably too.
Yeah.
Kikuta, I'm actually not sure about.
No. I would still have the big boss match over the Yamato and Kikuta match. But yeah, I am in love with this reign. The post match, where Yamato called out the Reiwa Generation Big Six. He called out the 5 who was on the show. Yuki Oshoka was named on commentary. Not on English commentary, but on Japanese commentary he was mentioned, which was interesting. Well, I think Jay mentioned Yoshioka after they had like Yamato, when Yamato was leaving the building. But he called out the Reiwa Generation. Kota, Shun, Benkei, Strong Shinjay, who was still in the ring, and Madoka Kikura all got into the ring. And he said, when I won this title, I wanted one of you to step up. None of you have managed to step up and beat me. None of you have managed to match up to my level. And he was disappointed. He basically said that 2024 should have been a special year for them after their strong start in 2023, where the focus was on them. And he was basically burying them. And it was a very engaging promo. And Kikura took the mic and basically said, defend yourselves to the others. He was basically crying and saying, help me stand up to him. And all of that. And it was a very emotional moment from Kikura. Shun no-sold the entire thing and said that he never even acknowledged the Reiwa generation. He shouldn't be part of it. He is above everyone in the ring, which was very Shun, of course. Kota and Benkei both were very silent about it, and Strong Shinjay basically didn't show frustration of losing the match, of course, but couldn't say that much on air. But did post on Twitter that he will get better and stronger. So this is an interesting match setup that they have set up here, because the GM Ryo Saito said, "Let's make this into a trios match on Korakuen," and he said basically he set the baby faces of the wrestlers here against Yamato and the heels, because in Korakuen next Wednesday on the 5th of February, this upcoming Wednesday, it will be the main event of Benkei, Strong Shinjay, and Madoka Kikura versus Yamato, Shun Skywalker, and Kota Minoura. A very interesting match that will most likely set up the next title challenge for Yamato. The entire post-match promo here at Gate of Bayside, I was sitting there waiting for Yuki Oshoka's theme to hit. Never hit. I was left, and Yannik immediately tagged me when everyone was out there, and he tagged me, and he said, "Are you working yourself into another shoot?" And I just said, yes, of course. But yeah, Dylan, what do you think of this post-match promo?
Yamato just destroyed all of these men, basically. Which he did a great job at, for sure. The stuff with... I just have two minds of it where I'll have a better feel of my actual feelings on it by the end of all this. I feel like by the end of this title reign, maybe the end of this year or whatever. Because to me, the fact that Yoshioka didn't come out, it's like that's such a glaring hole in all of this that it makes me think that they're really wanting it to be right. You know, like they want him to have a big moment when he returns. And maybe they thought that heading into February, it's kind of a downtime for the period, you know, or for the company in that period. Maybe they want to save him for a bigger moment in the future. And I hope that that's true, obviously. I mean, it's worrying that he hasn't came back yet. I mean, listen, they went out of their way to have him on World, remember? Where he came out and was like, hey, I'll be back one day.
Korakuen Afterworld.
Oh, Korakuen Afterworld, excuse me. Yeah, you're right. But he came out and was like, hey, I'll be back one day. Like, just say, you know, I'm doing good. Just give me a little bit more time. And then we haven't heard anything for 6 months afterwards. So it makes me feel like there has to be a reason they went out of their way to do that.
He feels like the perfect world challenger, right?
Exactly.
It's. I know I'm working myself into a shoot because it's my favorite wrestler in the company, and I have desperately missed him. But it just makes so much sense. The history between him and Yamato, him wanting to surpass Yamato, and that being the story back in 2022. I'm hoping. I think you are right that they probably wanted to be a big pop, and
But more than anything, that too, the stuff Yamato said was actually true. Is the problem with his promo?
yes,
And like that's the problem. Like none of these other guys are, you know, you can argue. You can always shoot. You can argue Shun, but he's had the belt a couple of times. I kind of think he's almost better without it in a lot of ways. He's so OTT as a character, and the other four aren't it. Like so, you need somebody like Yoshioka. Benkei, yes.
The issue I kind of have with it is that like Madoka didn't work. He is the only one that did something about it, which is good.
Yeah.
Like Jay just lost the match. Like if it would have been a bad decision to give him the title, that like we don't know that. Which it remains to be seen. I obviously argue it would have been a perfectly fine decision. The three of these guys already had matches in this title reign, and one isn't interested, so you only have Shun left. Well, he is the not interested one. So
and he said that he was going for something bigger than the Dream Gate.
Yeah, I have zero read where they even want to go.
Yeah.
Zero.
Yeah. It feels like Yamato burying them and all of them kind of admitting that he's right without saying it.
Yeah, that's the problem with this.
Yeah. And Kikura being the only ones trying to stand up for them, I think is telling. I think that's a cool story because, of course, he was the one that said it originally. That he was the one that appointed them. After he won the Dream Gate in the post match there, and then he had the failed Dream Gate run that match quality wise was good, but storyline wise and impact wise, other than the opening promo, didn't really have any lasting power. And where he just felt like not the focus guy in the company, unlike Yoshioka before him and Shun before him. It's
like you can put Yoshioka in a Kobe World main event because like you sure don't want any of the other
exactly. Yeah, that was my main point.
Do you want to put someone into your biggest match of the year who hasn't wrestled in a year and a half?
I mean, if they set it up in May at Dead or Alive, they can then say have Yamato. If Yoshioka returns at Dead or Alive, Yamato says you haven't proven shit. You've been gone for a year, and Yoshioka they do the King of Gate in the summer again.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up. Yeah,
that's Yoshioka's proving point. In June to July is him winning the King of Gate once again, and going to the end to Kobe.
Another piece of evidence that they may be doing that I want to bring up, Sondre. No announcement for Rey de Parejas yet.
Yes.
Which is interesting.
Last year they did it after Champion Gate.
Yeah.
So we still have Champion Gate in March.
I think we should just replace the Kobe World with Rey de Parejas and do just like a one-day tag tournament, and that's like the most important thing all year.
Hell yeah. No, yeah.
I wonder if they would want to avoid doing that tournament because it might seem a little too obvious. Like that's not Yoshioka would win if they did that.
Yeah.
It would be logical, don't get me wrong, but I could see them thinking like, "Oh well, he's gonna have to win for sure now."
They could ease it in with a Yoshioka decourage like Ray the Parea's run, but then he would have to return on Korakuen this upcoming.
Yeah, I mean we don't know. I mean, like I said, we just don't know. He may not even return by World for all we know.
Yeah,
I mean, I hope he does.
I did say after the show because someone asked me about him because he was everyone was mentioning him after this promo.
Yeah, because it's obvious why you would. Yeah,
and someone did ask me, do you think he comes back soon? And I said, well, if he's not back by World, I think he's soft retired. Honestly.
Yeah.
Talking about soft retired, another guy that should have a Dreamgate match, Big Boss.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's he up to right now?
Yeah. I am very interested in this upcoming Korakuen main event. I think it looks like a very big Korakuen main event.
Yeah.
And anything can happen. Honestly, anything in this match, anything can happen.
But at least it feels like they booked themselves in such a way where it feels like, because a lot of times this comes up, I always say, well, a lot of times we think something's going to happen and then nothing happens. The way this is, it almost has to have something. Like we don't know what it is exactly, but it has to set up something for Yamato and the Dreamgate.
Or for any of the other guys. I did feel something that Kikura is going to be a big focus of that match.
Yeah,
that could be interesting. But the rest of the Korakuen card is actually pretty good. Of course, because it's Korakuen. I shouldn't say actually because Korakuen, the last couple of months, Korakuen has been pretty special for Dragon Gate. Honestly, the last year. Korakuen is this upcoming Wednesday, February 5th, Truth Gate 2025 in Tokyo. They have a couple of Truth Gate shows before this. One in KBS Hall tomorrow. The card for that is decent enough, but we don't need to preview that. It's going to be on Dragon Gate Network. It's Kyoto KBS Hall. Punch Tobinaga versus Ben K.
Yeah.
But yeah, the card for Korakuen is as follows. Mochizuki Dojo is opening the show. Masaki Mochizuki, Ryu Fuda, and Akihiro Sahara versus Torawashi, Shuji Kondo, and Punch Tobinaga. Then a singles match, Don Fuji versus Ishin. That is so Yannik coded. I love that. Then a very, very me-coded match, Mochizuki Jr. versus Daiki Yaniguchi. That sounds awesome. Then Hyo and Problem Dragon versus Ultimo Dragon and Luis Mante. Why do they keep booking Mante and Hyo?
Have you guys seen Problem Dragon working, Noah?
Yeah.
What was it? Masaki Tabiya versus Problem. Like a show in Gifu, like it's like local, so.
Of course. Then an 8-man tag, Paradox, BB Hulk, Susumu Yokosuka, Kogatora, and Naruki Doi versus Seabrats, Kai, Jason Lee, Homare, and Yoshiki Kato. Should we mention Naruki Doi has dropped the junior title in All Japan. Also, 3-way tag match. This is the semi-main. Dragon Dia, Ryo Tanaka of D-Courage versus Casey and Yuti of Natural Vibes versus Rita and Jackie Kame of Gold Class. This feels like the winning team is the Champion Gate challengers for Jason and Kota Minoura. I honestly am hoping for Casey and Yuti. That would be cool. And then the main event, special six-man tag, Ben K, Strong Machine J, Madoka Kikura versus Yamato, Shun Skywalker, and Kota Minoura. So, really good Korakuen card. I'm looking forward to it.
What do you think about, because they never really paid off the Yamato Minoura thing, and now they're kind of teaming together here.
Yes.
Like, that's something that's eye-catching to me.
Yeah. Well, this match might just be a big Korakuen brawl. The main event.
What if all 5 of the young guys turn on Yamato and they just all beat him down?
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yes.
But yeah, looking forward to Korakuen. Something else to look forward to with Dragon Gate. News recently. So they have been dropping some talents that are going over. No match announcements yet for WrestleMania weekend for Dragon Gate. But they have announced Shun, Yamato, and some others. Ben K. A lot of people have been announced to be going over for WrestleMania weekend in Las Vegas. But yesterday, they did announce a very special show happening in the collection venue, Moon and View at the Palms Resort, Las Vegas, Wednesday, the 16th of April, at a start time of 8 p.m. A Dragon Gate produced show. Dragon Gate USA presents the Rebirth. Noticeably on the poster, it's the Thriller TV logo and then the Dragon Gate Network logo. So this will 100% be on the Dragon Gate Network. Probably not live, probably in taped format. But Dragon Gate USA is coming back in 2025, I mean. Makes sense. Very cool. It's a cool idea. I do hope they can get some alumni back for the show. This will be the first Dragon Gate USA show since the 5th of April 2014. So 11 years they have been gone. And that, of course, did also happen during WrestleMania weekend in New Orleans. Dylan, I know you are a big Dragon Gate USA fan, just like me. How are you feeling about this?
Yeah, DG USA was really how I got to, DG Japan at the end of the day. The only problem with DG USA is that at the start of things, when I first started watching, like 2009 when it started, it was really cool, like super innovative and fresh for the indie scene. That whole era was like a golden era for indie wrestling. But it was really cool to see all of these Dragon Gate guys in America, and it was something that was unthinkable at the time. This was a whole different world of wrestling back then, that the Japanese scene was not nearly as prevalent in the West as it is now. By the end of it, 11 years ago or whatever, it really had just turned into Evolve sub-brand. Like they had really lost the ability to get a lot of the Japanese talent over. It was a lot of indie guys. Occasionally they would bring in some guys, but it wasn't what it was by the end. They just lost the financials to bring the Japanese guys over. So to see it get this second run, this rebirth, I think is awesome. For me, it means something. I don't know if it's that prevalent among like people now. I mean, maybe it is. Maybe people just think it's a cool idea. Like they might have never even seen, the Freedom Gate title matches with BB Hulk that I really cut my teeth on and I thought were awesome. They might just think it's a great idea, and I think that's great in and of itself.
Dragon Gate USA was the first time I saw Bryan Danielson outside of WWE. Yes. I was very into Bryan Danielson in 2012 when he was really starting to get going in WWE, and because I was really getting into his heel character at the time. And I wanted to, and someone on Facebook or something in a WWE group on Facebook, so 2012, told me that, oh, have you seen any Daniel Bryan matches outside of WWE? And I said no, I didn't know he wrestled outside of WWE.
Here's him and Shingo.
So I googled Bryan Danielson or Daniel Bryan outside of WWE, and like the first thing I got up was him and Doi. On YouTube.
Wow, that's another great match. Yeah,
and that was the first Daniel Bryan match I saw outside of WWE, and in the end, also unknowingly at the time, ended up being the first Dragon Gate match I ever watched. So, yeah, very awesome. That was during the summer when I was just watching a lot of Bryan Danielson matches, of course. But
there's no year that will not be a good idea to watch lots of Bryan Danielson matches.
Yeah.
Because do you think that's possible?
By the way, on the same card sheet is Brian Kendrick.
Yeah.
That's
really neat.
Well, I mean, back then Kendrick was like an in-demand indie guy. Yeah. You know, like him and London were a fantastic tag team.
His recent WWE run, wasn't it? I don't know.
What about his recent Noah run?
Yeah. I love the idea of this show. I hope they can get some alumni in. Of course, they will. If I were them, I would try to get Buck. I don't know if they would get him, but I would at least try.
But the problem is like, who's running this show? It's a part of the collective, so they're gonna have to get these GCW people that are booking all of this. And I'm sure that like the people running this show were probably fans of this stuff.
Yeah.
So if they can get it in, I mean, it's the WrestleMania weekend. They're gonna pull out all the stops. I mean, this is the time for it.
AR Fox. I don't know how. He is the first guy that comes to mind of someone they 100% should and could get. Even though he of course is an AEW wrestler, but he's not that much in demand.
They could have Moxley on the show if they wanted.
Oh my god, that would be so cool. There are so many cool guys, so many cool alumni guys that they could bring in. That I hope they get the chance to bring in.
Moxley and Jimmy Jacobs. I remember that. Whole rivalry they did there.
Which one?
I have seen basically nothing from all of that, but it's such a cool time capsule. Dragon Gate USA.
Oh,
yeah.
It's really see, that's what I'm saying. You're like the perfect person for the point I was making. But even if you've never seen it, it's still a good good idea to give this a shot and see what it can do on there. And I think it's just very cool.
One alumni they should 100% not try to get back is Austin Aries, of course.
Well, there are many on that.
Yeah. Hey, how? Imagine if the commentary for this show is Jay and Chris Hero.
That would be good.
I leave Japan. Nah.
Jay was in WrestleMania weekend last week.
Yeah, I know. If it is anyway close to the quality of that ETU show that they had, I think this is a rolling success.
ETU last year was so good, so yeah, you made a good point there.
And a good thing with the collective tie-in is collective shows don't tend to be overly long, at least if they're daytime.
Yeah,
which this will not be like a main event show, kind of.
Yeah, this at least is midnight.
And they are easy to watch too. So, overall, I really cannot hate this. This is really a really cool idea for Dragon Gate fans. It's just finally Dragon Gate is doing something.
Yeah, and me and Yannik have been told some other matches that are being booked for the WrestleMania weekend. So there's a lot to look forward to. Trust us. But let's move on to DDT. Probably not as detailed of a review, but DDT did have a show in Korakuen Hall last weekend as well. The day after Gate of Bayside on the 26th of January. New Year, New Hero 2025, a new story begins. In Korakuen Hall, unannounced attendance, because that's DDT's gimmick this year, I think. None of the shows this year have had announced attendance.
Well, if you looked at the crowd, I understand why they didn't.
Looks like a decent turnout, like 700.
Yeah, I wouldn't call that decent, but yeah.
It wasn't empty. There were people there.
Sure.
It looked like there were more people there than at the Actors Korakuen I went to, and that felt pretty good.
Oh,
I mean, I believe that.
Yeah, but the Actors show I went to was 700. So
reportedly.
Yeah. Moving on from attendance to the title matches on the show. One match we did not need to talk about. Danchiku Dino defeated Gorgeous Matsuno with an inside cradle after 9 minutes and 47 seconds to retain the DDT Extreme title. This was a 1 count rule match. It was V2 for Dino, and that's all you need to know about it. It was a match. The big thing to talk about here was the post match, where the GM announced that Yuki Ino is Dino's next challenger. By the way, the GM for this show was Akito. Akito explained that because pheromones continued to cause trouble even after they were disbanded, by now making sure that the DDT YouTube channel was demonetized. He has made it fit to punish Dino and Ino and the DDT audience by putting them against each other at Judgment for the Extreme title. Akito said that this match is he wants this match to be as much of a pheromones match as it can be. He wants it to be Ino's return to the pheromone style, and he wants Imabashi, Hisaya Imabashi, GM Imabashi, to be the referee. So that's the first match announced for Judgment. The anniversary show on the 20th of March is Danchiku Dino defending the Extreme title versus Yuki Ino, with Hisaya Imabashi as the referee.
I am not looking forward to that.
Overall,
what I am looking forward to, though, would be Ino as a singles champion.
Yeah.
With like a little bit more staying power than whatever that Universal title thing was.
And with more staying power than the pheromones gimmick.
Yeah.
Even though this will, of course, this match is going to be a love letter to the pheromones unit as a whole. They're already doing a special preview tag on Shinjuku Face, which is Dino teaming with Takeda to face Ino and Imawari, I think. Yeah. And that match looks fun. It looks silly as hell. Yeah, I don't know if the pheromones gimmick is going to be fun even now 2 years after they disbanded. Dylan, I'm sure you hate this.
What makes you think that?
You had finally gotten rid of them, and now they are bringing it back.
I never could get rid of all the things in my life. I feel like I'm destined to suffer on this planet, and it's all thanks to DDT. Unfortunately. How dare he do this? How dare all of them do this? And I hope that we can all come together. We can all watch these shows and really appreciate the fact that every other match will not be like that. I think that's the best positive thing that we can have.
Yeah, so I by the way, I got the venue wrong. The pheromones grudge match is happening in Korakuen on the 23rd of February. It's Koji Takeda and Don Shibudino versus Yumihito Imanari and Yuki Ino. Extreme grudge match, pheromones, for the first time since October 4th, 2023. That is that match. We then had a fantastic preview of the D-Generations Cup, a 8-man tag with all 8 members of the D-Generation Cup. We had the A block versus the B block. So it was A block, Takeshi Masada, Keigo Nakamura, Illusion, and Yuki Ishida, losing to B block Toi, Yuya Kuruku, Yuni, and Kazuma Sumi, when Koraku submitted Nakamura with the modified Triangle Lancer after 12 minutes and 53 seconds. This was such a good match. This was such a good preview of the tournament. I was very happy with how this match was done. Illusion was a dick and didn't even enter with the rest of the A block. And when he came in, he was attacking Masada, his partner, and they continued to build that feud. I just really liked this match. It really made me hyped for the D-Gen Cup. Yannik, I know you watched this. What did you think?
Because you said you were really hyped, and I watched it a few days later. The first few minutes were really bad, in my opinion. This looked so choreographed, and okay, we have talked about it for 2 minutes beforehand, but no one is really sure what we actually want to do here, and it took a while. But like the point where it got to in the end was quite high. It was really fun, and they all have like their grudges. Illusion is the man. Like, how is he a member of Damnation and still good?
Yeah. I love the finishing stretch between Keigo and Yuya Kuruku.
That should be the final of this tournament.
It can't be. Well, yeah, it can. Never mind. Yeah, I agree. I forgot that this was A block versus B block. But yeah, you're right.
But this is where the heat was between these 8. Like, was these 2. Like, this could be great. And I mean, I already thought they were the 2 best guys anyway, to be honest, even before this match. But the way that it's set up perfectly to build to their rivalry is like, okay, I'm ready for this. Like, this is what I want to see. And I think it's what a lot of people do.
It should be Koraku defeating Toi to win his block, and then moving on to final and facing Keigo, who somehow survives through the Takeshi Masada and Illusion. I think Illusion and Takeshi Masada eliminate themselves by like a double count out or something.
Yeah.
I could see that being a thing.
They spent a lot building up Ishida here too, trying to fight like 1-on-4.
Yeah, but like they kind of have to, because Ishida hasn't done anything for like half a year now.
Yeah. Exactly. That's the problem.
He was so surprised when I went to his meet and greet line. He was, it's a foreigner, hi.
Look at that, you made him happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love Ishida. I would be at his line too.
Ishida's
Ishida's great.
It was because I had gotten a free sticker for him in the random sticker packets.
Damn it, Sondre.
They still do that.
Yeah. But yeah, this was fun. I really recommend watching this match, and it should help you get into the D-Gen Cup guys for this year. Of course, should be reminded, it says on the poster of the tournament where they all look at the KOD Openweight title hanging. It's very cool. It's very cool that the winner of this tournament gets a KOD Openweight title shot.
Now, see, in the end, Illusion will win it, and he will use it to disband, I don't know, Sonakamina or something.
Now that would be cool.
No.
No, but we need. I as I have said, I kind of want Sana Kamina to die. It has.
Talking of Sana Kamino and wanting people to die,
Gringo
Gringo Loco.
Yeah, DDT Universal Title match. Gringo
Dylan.
Loco.
Dylan, I want to hear you first. Have you watched this match?
Yeah. Like I said, I watched everything up to this point. Yeah.
Okay,
And obviously the main event.
Yeah. Gringo Loco making his third defense of the DDT Universal title against Yuki Ueno. 50 minutes and 40 seconds. Yuki Ueno wins with the VR and saves us all from having to watch more Gringo Loco in DDT. I don't know what it is. Gringo Loco as a singles wrestler is just not it. He's like the American Kota Minoura.
The thing is,
and Kota Minoura is already Tetsuya Endo.
Yeah, like a poor man's Indo at this point. So Gringo Loco is a poor man's version of Indo. The thing is about this match, like execution-wise, it was like a good match. They did stuff like moves and all that, but it was so soulless. Like it was such like we're doing moves to do them. There's not really any story to this or any real point to this. It's like we're doing these moves to get to the end, and that's it. It just felt really soulless to me. But I didn't think it was this terrible match or anything. I just thought it was a really uninteresting.
It was a very uninteresting one. That's the point I'm trying to make.
And even the way it was, like it's not like the wrestling was okay, like execution wise, but they don't have anything more to it beyond the moves, like pretty much. Like they tried to do big stuff.
Gringo Loco definitely can start the Gringo Loco chant. At least he can try.
Maybe it wasn't the right venue for that.
And then the post match of him saying that he wants to come back to Japan, and it's the obvious like post match. He did ask Ueno to face him again in America, where he will be where Gringo will have the upper hand. He said, which okay.
I mean, they did stuff like that big driver onto the apron. They did. You had the big Falcon Arrow from the top. Was good. They tried to do stuff. Like it just, I don't know.
Yep. But Ueno won the title. His third title reign with the Universal title. He did nominate Minoru Suzuki to be his challenger at Judgment. Minoru Suzuki had already been announced to be working Judgment. So Akito said he heard his request and he would pass it on to Suzuki. So it's still not announced, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be announced since he said
that'd be funny. Like, Suzuki said no. We gotta find somebody else.
That would be very, very funny.
Yeah. Like, all right, bring Akiyama for this.
Yeah, Minoru Suzuki says, "No, actually, I wanted to face Akiyama. That's the only reason why I came."
Or he just said, "I don't want to wrestle on that show. Like, put Akiyama in my place."
Yeah, Ueno with the title again. It was we needed to get the title of Gringo. Yeah.
I don't know if this would be my ideal idea, though. To be honest,
I still don't feel Ueno as the guy that should have taken the belt.
It's just it's a step back for no reason for him.
Yeah.
And the thing is, he as a character feels like he's taken a step back to where he was. Like you know, he doesn't feel like the ace of the company he did a year ago at this time.
That's the problem. That is the big problem.
I feel nothing for this title. Like which was obvious when Gringo had it, but like this didn't make a difference.
Yeah.
I do have to say though, Ueno Suzuki is a cool match.
Yeah.
That's something really different for once. Like Suzuki is Suzuki, but like it's not a match that we have seen Ueno in. So I'm looking forward to that.
It will be a new style for him. I think Suzuki going really hard and hitting like I think it could be a bloodier version of the Shinya Aoki match.
Oh.
Because like I expect them to do some grappling, of course, but I hope that they go the route of Keno versus Suzuki from last year. They just go bloody.
I wouldn't count on Suzuki bringing the heat like Aoki did, but let's hope.
I mean, he did bring it against Keno. That's just I don't know.
Yeah, zero interest in this match for me. I don't have any affection for Suzuki at this point. Well, he just has the same matches over and over.
I agree. It's just the Keno match last year was kind of special, I thought. But moving on.
Maybe if we're going to take a positive look at this, because I mean, it is right that it's something. It's like a dream type of match, I guess you could say, for this. Maybe if he can go on this run and have, a few defenses with this title and have a bunch of great and memorable matches, maybe that could help the title itself. Because Yannik did make a good point that the belt itself is very low right now, and maybe he is the one to rehab this, and he could actually rub off on the title more so than where he's at right now, which it feels like it's hurting him more than him helping it, but maybe he can turn it around through his wrestling.
Yeah. Moving on to the main event. We will mention the other big news from the show, but that's bigger news than the main event, in my opinion. But so we'll do the main event first, and then the big return that we saw on the show. KOD Open title match. Chris Brookes defends against Shuji Ishikawa. He retains and gets his V2 with the ground octopus stretch when Shuji Ishikawa taps out to the ground octopus stretch after 22 minutes and 21 seconds. This match started great, had a fantastic middle where they got really bloody, and was very brutal, some really good headbutts and stuff. And then the last 5 minutes felt like they should have ended 5 minutes earlier. Like, I felt the last 5 minutes were dragging. But I really, really loved the middle portion of this match. What did you think of this, Dylan?
Well, I do have to say, when I came into this match watching it, my hype level wasn't that high.
Yeah.
And I think for that reason, I ended up thinking this was kind of a banger, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm not saying it wasn't a banger. I did think it was really good. I just thought that it kind of dragged in the last 3-5 minutes.
And it felt like too much of I guess kind of a not that somewhat similar style of setup for a match as we saw with the Yamato match, where the big dog was really always pushing the pace against Brookes, where Brookes was always on the defensive, even as a champion. The problem is it's Ishikawa who's like 50. And so it doesn't really hit as good as the J style here.
Yeah.
That said, if you just look at what he actually did, Ishikawa was pretty great when he was on top here.
Yeah.
And I think that's where things turned around for, the ending stretch was most of the match, all the great parts were when Ishikawa was on offense, and then the final part of the match was Brookes turning the tables and having his turn, which wasn't as exciting or as good as when Ishikawa on offense. And obviously Ishikawa wasn't going to be able to sell for him as much either. So I think that's why the match turned around. A lot of this was Ishikawa on offense, and it was fucking awesome when he was.
Yeah. Man, the spot where Chris Brookes headbutts, where Shuji Ishikawa headbutts Chris Brookes off the top rope, and Chris Brookes runs back and does a double arm suplex. That was such an amazing spot. I love that spot. I thought the table spot and Ishikawa with the table bits when he was busting him open, that was so cool. That was so engaging. I agree with you 100%. Ishikawa's offense in this match was amazing. Yannik, what did you think?
I didn't especially care for it. I'm trying to remember when I watched that. And that wasn't like it was definitely after like a long day of learning and so on. So it just felt long to me and slow, and I wasn't especially like invested to begin with, and I probably didn't pay that much attention. So don't really listen to me, but it wasn't for me.
Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah, I thought this was.
Do you think the crowd? Do you think the crowd hurt your investment any for this?
I thought the crowd was pretty hot.
Probably.
Probably because I was hot in the call because I was streaming it to my Discord, and I was hot on voice chat. So I think I was my own crowd for this match.
Well, it wasn't a vibes type of match. It reminded me of like a like they tried to do a Big Japan main event here.
Yes,
almost
100%. This was I think I don't. I hope Ash doesn't listen to us. Not Ashman, but Ashentush, because he will disagree hard. He hated this match. Yeah.
I mean, that could be a reason why it might not be. It's not. Okabayashi didn't walk through those doors. It was Chris Brookes instead. Remember Ishikawa, so I can understand.
Yeah.
But I thought it was good for what it was.
I love Chris Brookes, but I do think that the stapler spot it's gotten old.
Oh yeah,
the stapler spot. I'm done with it.
I think we can all agree the highlight was the post match.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Post match, Akito said, "Your next match. Congrats on the title defense. Your next match your next defense will be in Korakuen on Judgment, March 20th." And he said, "Is there anyone you want to face?" Chris said, I want to face like 10 guys. My head hurts. Give me time." So, Akito said, "Okay, sure. It's the anniversary show. You have a month to come up with a really special name for. So give your answer at Korakuen next month." So Chris Brookes will be announcing who is defending against at Judgment on next month's Korakuen, February 23rd. Unless someone challenges him before that. And then he didn't know what else to say, so he started singing "Don't Stop Me Now" by Queen. And Shuji Ishikawa came out and joined him. And it was wonderful. It was so good.
Why this song, you think?
He's British.
That's it.
Yep.
Okay, I mean, I accept that. I mean, I'm not hating on it. I forget the match. I want to know the psychology of the song choice here.
I think the psychology was just headbutt.
Yeah. He had lost all feeling in his mind.
I think if you think about headbutting things, this is the song you immediately think.
And Ishikawa said on Twitter, I think, "Next time, Beatles," which was very funny. But
Man.
a very, very heartful DDT way to end the show. Now, the big news from the show, the important news, the news that when he came out almost made me cry because I had missed him so much. During the announcements of upcoming shows and stuff, out came Kazusara Higuchi. He, of course, has been off from wrestling since June of 2024 due to several injuries, including a cervical hernia. Of course, during the time off, he got married. But he did tell the fans that he will return on the 20th of March in Judgment. Because the ring means everything to him. I was so happy to see him back. I am so... It will be nice to see him back. Waiting all the way to March for him to get his return match, that sucks a bit, but I like that they're making his return match special. And having it at the big show of the year. One of the big shows of the year.
Any wishes? Any wishes as the return match?
I did say Chris Brookes. Like, I immediately, when he came out, I said, "Oh, please come out after the main event." But I don't think they would do a KO the Ultimate title match as his return match.
No.
No.
I would say Harashima then. I think that would be cool. Konosuke Takeshita, maybe. I mean, that would be awesome.
Ryota Nakatsu.
Oh. Yeah. Anyone that can work his style. All they need to do is just chops and some bombs.
We don't want him injured again.
No. I'm hyped. He's back.
I feel like his return could be more like a tag match scenario.
Yes.
To be honest. Yeah. I mean, you have you mentioned Nakatsu and Ishida is there.
Yeah, he hasn't said a singles match yet.
Yeah, I think it'll be a tag. Personally.
Yeah, I agree. That would be the most ideal, I think.
I mean, I would love to see him in a singles match. If they did that, I would have no issue with it at all. He's great. But I just think they want to warm him up to build to his big singles match.
And finally give Harimau a Harimau match again. The unit that we had totally forgotten about, right?
They're back.
Bring Nakatsu, have Nakatsu and Yuki Ishida and Kazusada Yuchi. Have the trio. And just have Naomi Yoshimura come out with them.
Sure.
Because of course, I mean he is ringside for every match at this point. So yeah, I'm very hyped for this.
He's great.
The Judgment is looking good right now. I mean,
well, let me ask you this because we kind of went over it. Like, who do you think the challenger is going to be for Brookes?
Yes, I have no read on it, honestly. I don't have any big reads.
Who is the special name that Akito has teased?
Big Boss.
Oh my god!
Big Boss leaves Dragon Gate to jump to the DT.
It would be funny at least.
Shima.
I wonder what the status of the investigation is, or whatever they said about Big Boss.
I'm trying to think. I want it to be someone special to DDT history since it's the anniversary show.
Ibushi.
No. Please not.
That would be funny.
Do you have anyone in mind?
Yeah, I like your idea of having somebody special for DDT. I don't know if anybody, who is in relation to Brookes that they can pull out. Like someone from his past, or something like that.
They did Irie last year. They can't do that again.
Zack.
Oh.
That would be interesting if they did that.
I mean, he could be not holding the title at the point.
Yeah, if he drops the title, yeah.
Takeshita.
In this house, we believe in Hiroki Goto.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We 100% do. Takeshita.
Probably not for Korakuen.
Yeah.
Not for the title.
It's judgment though.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Takeshita could wrestle on the show, but I don't think he's going to go for the title because I think he would win.
Make us tomorrow.
That could work.
That's a hope. That's a big
Yeah.
hope.
That could work, honestly, though. Like a former KOD champion on her retirement tour.
It's before her retirement match.
Exactly. Exactly.
Hey, honestly, yeah, Mako. Let's do Mako. Sure.
Like that. Honestly, that fits the bill. I think of what they would want.
Yeah.
For that, in my opinion.
And it is still wrong. It should be Chi-Chi. Thank you for listening to my TED talk.
Enoka.
Oh.
Enoka.
Oh. Now you have me.
Isami Kodaka.
Shut up.
What's he up to these days?
Misuki Watase. Oh.
Misuki Watase has a torn Achilles. I don't think so.
Yeah, I know. No, it could be anyone, honestly. But yeah, that is DDT. We'll talk more about DDT in next week, hopefully, if we'll be back for the Dragon Gate Korakuen review. They did set up a great DDT show once again. This time in Osaka, and the card not good, but it's great. So
I
look at that town.
Card that much.
What?
I don't dislike the card that much.
They have Parker Bordeaux in with Chris Brookes. I don't know.
That match is objectively hilarious.
Yeah. Have you seen the great XDDT card, Dylan?
No.
Okay,
I'm looking at it right now, though.
I can run it down.
Okay, I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, 15th of February, Osaka Umeda Sky Building, Stella Hall. Opening match. All of these matches are like Glade versus DDT or Glade talent with DDT talent versus DDT and Glade talent. Opening match, Takanori Ito and Yuki Ino. Of course, two heavyweights versus Issei Onitsuka and Keigo Nakamura. Two babyfaces. That makes sense. Then into the G-Rush rules. El Lindemann versus Illusion. What is the G-Rush, Dylan?
Leo
Don't
Rush.
worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah, Leo Rush. Yeah.
Then a Glade and DDT and AAA 6-man tag. Takanori Yamamura, Takehiro Yamamura, Mao, and Yokuruku versus SB Kento, Takuma, and Kazuma Sume. Of course, Takuma Fujiwara. That match looks fun enough. Then
I think this match is, again, hilarious booking. It will probably be dire.
Yeah.
Because it's such a big what if again.
Yeah.
It could be fun.
Densha, Micho, and Don Godino versus JD Lee and Toy.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Perverts teaming together.
Harashima Shima and Kazuma Sakamoto versus Chris Brookes, Parker Bordeaux, and Yukio Naya. What a random tree.
You cannot tell me that this isn't inspired.
And then main event. Glade versus DDT premium battle. Soma Watanabe versus Yuki Ueno. I mean, Geek versus tried to be ace last year. I don't know. I don't really care. It's great.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it's yeah. Well, the Lindemann Illusion match could be fun. I mean, it's got like it's gonna be fast paced. It's G Rush, 2 counts, all that fun stuff.
Okay, so that's the rule. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not exciting, but it's not bad.
It
could be good.
It is worthy of the building. If this was a Korakuen card like last year, where they did Glade versus XDDT Korakuen last year, and that would if this card had been on Korakuen, I would have been very disappointed. But this seems worthy of Osaka Umeda Sky Building Stella Hall.
It is a show.
Yeah. But yeah, go subscribe to the new DDT channel since the old one has been demonetized. Does that mean that we're no longer former champions? Since the YouTube channel that we are subscribed to is now gone?
They don't take your accomplishments away from you.
Okay. Good. Yeah, next month is looking exciting. The D-Generation Cup gets started on the 8th, and the finals is in Korakuen on the 23rd. And yeah, I think that's it for this week. Yannik, do you have anything to say to close?
I do, but get your stuff out of the way, you guys.
Dylan.
Everybody listen to the Eastern Lariat Award show. We got a ton of votes. It was a lot of fun to do it. 19 different promotions were represented from Japan on there. So, and even a couple from America snuck in. So it was a lot of fun. Check that out. Me and Nello have been doing Wrestle Update. We did some good stuff. We got some positive reviews at the start of the year. We covered a horrific GCW show in between. We'll probably do something for the Rumble. I'm not sure yet, but we should. But check out my other shows. Check me out on social media at Viva_0. And I look forward to talking with all of you guys. And thank you guys so much for listening to any of my shows, and especially the Dramatic Dream Dragons.
Oh yeah. Yeah. This has been a fun first month of the year. For both our companies, I am very much looking forward to seeing what's next. I think both companies have gotten off to a strong start. DDT a bit less so, I guess. But I know that DDT will always turn around Judgment. And I'm looking forward to seeing how the rest of the year pans out. I'm definitely going to listen to the rest of the Eastern Lariat Awards. I was at Best Foreigner when I last listened to it.
The first award we did.
Yeah, I will finish it. Also, we did manage to get some Dragon Gate and DDT matches into the top 100 on the Voices of Wrestling polling. I managed to get Dino versus Reno to the 72 spot. No, 74. And I was very happy. just that it made it to the top 100, I was very happy. But yeah, I did write a write-up on it that I was very proud of. So go look at the Voice of Wrestling top 100 and see my review of Dino versus Reno. My mini review there. And yeah, Yannik.
Yeah, I want to do this last because it is really a mood killer, but
Oh yeah.
as of a few hours ago, at the time of this recording, or when this drop, it is February 1st in Japan, which is the 1 year anniversary, so to speak, of us knowing about the passing of Asahi, who has tremendously impacted my fandom, yours, Sondre, Dylan. I can only imagine for you two, who has watched lots of Ice Ribbon back in the day, and I just want to urge you to really, think about the people you have in your life and to not take them for granted. It's there have been some really rough months, and in the last year, and it's all months that we weren't able to watch her wrestle to brighten up our day.
Yeah.
So I just want to have that mentioned again. It's really important to me, personally, and go watch some of her matches. She was tremendous.
Yeah, it's it's insane that it's been a year.
Yeah.
I still remember that shock. Yeah, rest in peace. Go watch some Shai matches. It's I have barely managed to go back and watch some of her matches because it was so sudden. I think I will try this next week because I really have missed watching some of her matches. But yeah, sorry to end on that side note, but definitely worth mentioning. And then we'll be back. I hope we can be back for a review of Korakuen the week off. Hopefully.
We'll see.
And then, until next time, as always, be ready, wake up, and go.